My name is Anna Winkler. I'm the owner and director of Shakti Yoga and Living Arts in Maplewood, New Jersey. And I've been teaching and practicing yoga for over 30 years. And I'd like to share with you today some gentle warm-up exercises that some of my personal favorites that help me release tension in the body and could also be a preparation for more vigorous movement practice or just to let go of tension in the body and then rest in Shavasana, or maybe after or before a sitting practice. So we will begin in Shavasana, the corpse pose, lying on the back. So when you come into Shavasana, coming in onto the back, you can have the knees bent just to observe your lower back and how it touches the mat or doesn't. And when you lie down, you want to kind of be in the center of the mat so that you can feel your alignment, front to back, side to side, top to bottom. And then when you extend the legs, the feet and legs come apart. So you're not engaging your legs. The thighs release out. The arms come down. And you may need to adjust the shoulder blades a little bit down, away from the ears. And then when you come into Shavasana, just be here for a few breaths and observe your body. So we're constantly holding tension in the body to keep the body upright. So when we lie down, we can let go of whatever we're holding on to. This is the practice of Shavasana, corpse pose, the letting go practice. Just observing what is not letting go when you come down onto the mat. And in particular, just take a few breaths and make any adjustments. If you feel like you're a little bit out of alignment, you might want to make a few adjustments. And also just take a few deep breaths and allow your body to relax and release the grip of flesh on bone. And allow gravity to have its way with you. So let go, surrender. Let the flesh melt off the bones. Observe what that is and what that feels like, and if it's possible, and where it's possible and where it isn't possible. Where are you chronically holding tension and not knowing? So observing these things. And then to continue with observing how you're aligned, just observe how your feet and legs fall apart. Maybe one leg is turned out more than the other. One foot and leg falls out more than the other. You can see what does it feel like, and then you can look and see if that's actually the case. Be careful of your neck. And if your head is quite lifted and you feel strained in the neck, you can put a blanket under your head, or you could put one under your knees, or both, or one over you if you're cold, or just layer up, because we will do some movements. So observing how the feet and legs fall apart, and then traveling up to the pelvis, observe how the pelvis feels, if there's more weight on one side or the other. And if one side then feels more lifted off the ground than the other. And also traveling into the lower back, is one side of the lower back more arched off the mat than the other. And maybe one hip is higher than the other, so there's the one side of the waist is shorter than the other, from the hip to the lower ribs. Just observing that, and then observe how your middle and upper back lie on the mat, and if your lower back ribs are very high off the mat, or if they're touching the mat, how the shoulder blades feel, if they're even, are they scrunched up towards the ears or pulled down, are they out to the side, or are they pinched together? Is there space for the armpits? And how do the arms feel on the ground? Do they feel even? Is one shoulder more lifted off the mat, more curled in towards the chest than the other? Is one shoulder higher towards the ear than the other? Is the head tilted to one side or rolling to one side, or both?
This is how we discover our habitual patterns of holding tension in the body, and then we work towards gently letting those release. So to come to bent knee in the lazy method, just turn one knee out to the side and slide the knee up, and then tilt the leg up, and then let the leg release into the midline. So your hips roll over to the opposite leg. Slide the other knee up, and then lift both the knees up and observe how the weight shifts back and forth on the sacrum, which is the bone, the big bone in the lower back above the tailbone. So 5 vertebrae that fused together long ago. So observe the placement of your feet, about sit bone width distance apart or outer hip width, and a comfortable distance from the buttocks. And the arms are not too much up, a little closer in towards the body. And we're going to do a practice that is a somatic practice to discover the muscles of the lower back and the lower abdomen and see if there's chronic tension being held there. So the first movement is arching the lower back. It's like you're rolling, your pelvis is like a rolling pin and you're rolling forward. So inhale, engage your lower back muscles, lifting your lower back off the mat. So you're arching your lower back and rolling your pelvis down. So you're pressing the sitting bones and tailbone into the mat. The feet get a little light and the back is lifted. Feel how the chin pulls into the chest if you relax the neck. And then as you exhale, just smoothly release the engagement of your back muscles. Come back to neutral and just observe neutral. And then we'll do this a few times. So if you have pain in the back, you just go very minimally. Okay, so just start to inhale and imagine what you would need to do to lift your lower back off the mat. Engaging the lower back muscles rolls the pelvis forward, pressing the sitting bones and tailbone down. Allow the chin to come into the chest. And then as you exhale, you just release the engagement of the lower back muscles smoothly as you're able and come back to neutral. And you might feel, oh, there was a little cliff there. There was a little sensory motor amnesia. So my brain is no longer connected to the muscle in that part of the body. And I just felt it there. So I want to reestablish a connection. And what that means is the connection goes right into the spinal cord. Always contract and never let go. So you want to reestablish a connection so you can let go and engage as you would like. So again, inhale, engage your lower back muscles and roll your pelvis forward and feel how the chin pulls into the chest. Sit bones and tailbone are pressing into the mat. And then as you exhale, smoothly release the engagement of your lower back muscles and come back to neutral and observe neutral. Each time your neutral may be a little bit different, and you can adjust the neck and head as needed. And then we'll do the opposite movement, which is flatten. So inhale into the lower belly, and then as you exhale, draw your lower belly into the mat and press your lower back down. So now your rolling pin of your hips is rolling backward. So your sitting bones and tailbone are coming off the mat. And then as you inhale, smoothly release the engagement of your lower abdominals and come back to neutral and observe neutral. So now you might feel actually more curve in your lower back after that. Take an inhale into your lower belly, and then as you exhale, sink the lower belly down towards the lower back and pressing the lower back into the mat just above the sacrum. Feel the sitting bones and tailbone lift. And feel how the chin, if you relax the neck, the chin wants to lift as well. The head falls back. And then as you inhale, smoothly release the engagement of your abdominal muscles and come back to neutral. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale into the belly and then exhale, sink the lower belly down. So don't puff it out. You're engaging it by pulling it down to the back, and that's rocking the pelvis back, lifting the sitting bones and tailbone up. And then chin lifts if you relax the neck. And then as you inhale, you release the engagement of your abdominal muscles, and you can observe what other muscles got on for the ride. And then you exhale and just come back to neutral and observe your new neutral each time. So we'll go back and forth with this movement with an extra breath in between. Okay? So inhaling, you engage your lower back muscles, lifting your lower back off the mat, rolling your pelvis forward. Sit bones, tailbone down, chin pulls into the chest because of movement of the hips, pulling the spine down. And then as you Exhale, you're releasing the engagement of your back muscles to come back to neutral. Observe neutral. After that, I'm always flat. And then inhale into the belly. And as you exhale, sink your waist down, going into flatten. This is the opposite movement. Your hips are rolling back, sitting bones, tailbone lift. And if you relax your neck, your chin lifts, pressing the back down. And then as you inhale, you smoothly release the engagement of your lower abdominal muscles and any other muscles that went along for the ride. Pause in neutral and exhale. So now I feel a little more curved in the back. So you'll see how this affects you. Inhale, you engage your lower back and roll your pelvis forward like a rolling pin, engaging those muscles, not going into pain. And then as you exhale, release the lower back muscles and come back to neutral and observe neutral and continue to let go. You can take a couple of breaths. Make sure you're not still engaging. Take an inhale in neutral, and then as you exhale, sink your lower belly down and push your lower back into the mat. So your sitting bones and tailbone lift, and observe how your chin lifts. And then as you inhale, release the engagement of the abdomen and come to neutral. And exhale. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, you arch, engaging the back muscles. As you do so, release the front so you get more movement. And then as you exhale, release your back muscles and come to neutral. And just observe neutral. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, engage the front muscles. Pull the waist down, flatten the back, pull the middle waist and even the upper waist. Take the front ribs towards the pubic bone and lift the tailbone up. So you're releasing the back muscles as you engage the front. And then as you inhale, smoothly release the engagement. Come back to neutral and exhale. And pause here and take a breath. So you can take it to one more level of complexity. Actually, there's another one too, but we'll just do one more level of complexity. So you're going to do engaging and releasing in one breath. Okay, and I'm talking a lot, so it may be longer than your breath, so you can breathe while you're holding, or you can just move at your own pace, but just becoming aware of how to do this movement. So inhale, you engage your back muscles, and as you do that, release the front muscles. And feel how the chin pulls into the chest as you press the sitting bones and tailbone down. And then as you exhale, the first part of the exhale is releasing your back muscles to neutral. And the second part of the exhale is contracting the front muscles, pressing the lower back down, releasing the back so the tailbone, sit bones lift, and observe how the chin and shoulders lift when you really engage, especially the upper abdomen. And then the first part of your inhale is releasing the abdominals, coming through neutral. Second part of the inhale is contracting the back muscles, going into arch. Feel how the shoulder blades press down and the chin comes down. First part of the exhale is releasing the engagement of the back muscles, coming into neutral, and as you continue the exhalation, you go into flatten. Sitting bones, tailbone lift, head and shoulders lift, so the head falls back, and then smoothly release that engagement, coming to neutral, and then continuing with the inhalation into the arch. First part of the exhale, release the engagement of the back muscles only, coming into neutral. Second part of the exhale, contract the front muscles, pressing the back down so the tailbone and sit bones lift and the chin lifts. And then smoothly, and even the shoulders, just release the engagement of the abdomen and come to neutral. And then just go ahead and extend your legs and rest in Shavasana and observe Shavasana. And just see if you feel different now after this practice, and observe how you feel different. Do you feel more even with the distribution of the weight, the turnout of the legs, the weight in the pelvis? Maybe the upper back and shoulders and neck feel different as well. Maybe you just feel in general softer because you engaged in release. And the reason we do this is because in order to release, you need to feel what's tight. And to feel what's tight, you practice the engagement, go a little tighter, and then smoothly release. And then you retrain your body to reset its muscle length back to neutral instead of maintaining a constant level of tension. So this is the idea. And then go ahead and bend the knees again one by one. Slide one knee up, tilt the knee up, let it fall into the midline, slide the other knee up, and then tilt both the knees up. So this is like the lazy method of bending the knees, and also less potential to strain the lower back. And then we'll do, just bring your feet to the outer edges of the mat and turn the toes in, heels out, and observe how that turns your thighs in. and brings the knees together. Just allow, don't squeeze the legs, but just allow the knees to fall in. And you can bring the hands to rest on the diaphragm, abdominal area. And just observe also in this position, this turned in position, how the femur bones, the thigh bones, pull out to the side, the head of the femur, and this broadens the buttocks away from the sides of the sacrum. And it also puts your lower back, ideally, in a neutral position. So it should feel good on your lower back. So just observe this sensation, internal rotation of your thighs. And then just turn the feet back out to a more neutral position and bring your knees out to the side, a comfortable distance. And then arms out to the side, not too high, a little below the shoulders. And then just dip your right leg into the midline and see how much can you allow that right leg to dip in. How much can you release whatever's holding on and allow that to occur. And then inhale, come up and observe how your hips rock back to neutral. And then exhale. And again, just let your right leg dip into the midline and observe how that pulls the buttocks away from the sides of the sacrum. And also the lower back. And maybe you'll feel it in the waist even. And then inhale, coming back up. And just one more time, releasing the right leg. And observe how the hips turn to the left and the left leg wants to release out to the side to help the release of the right leg into the middle and then coming back up to neutral. So if you're very tight, you won't go very far. I'm pretty flexible. And then just observe now on the left, let the left leg dip in to the midline. And observe what's holding on. At the level of the skin, it's a good place to begin feeling the sensation, and then what under the skin can let go, and so on. So this side's a little tighter for me today, so it took longer to let go. And then bring the left leg up, take a breath, and then again, just dip it in and see how much can you allow that left leg to release. Sometimes I bring on a good breath, which is always a good sign and awesome thing. And then coming back up, and one more time. And observe how, see as the left leg dips in, I want to go into a windshield wiper. That's what we're going to do next. So the hips really turn to the right, and then I can just release the inner right thigh down, and now I'm in a windshield wiper. That's the legs are in a windshield wiper action, so they stay apart. So my left leg is now internally rotated, and the right leg is externally rotated. I'm on the inside edge of the left foot, outside edge of the right foot. In my head, if I relax, my neck will turn to the opposite side of the legs in a gentle twist. And then inhaling, I draw the waist down, especially the upper waist, and lift the legs up. And then exhaling, just start to dip the right leg in, and then release the inner left thigh, and observe how the bone is really just the bone being heavy, lengthening the skin and flesh of the body. It's not, you're not forcing the bone down to the ground. And the head ideally will turn opposite of the legs in a gentle twist. And then draw the waist in and inhale to come up. And you can adjust the feet, and you can bring the feet a little closer, you know, if that's easier. I think a little closer is better, right? And then just observe. Left leg internal rotation, right leg external rotation, and what feels like it's, you know, lengthening as you do it. Inhale, you come up, exhale, you release the legs, so you can do one by one or simultaneously. You can see what works better for you. Head releases opposite of the legs. And then inhale, you come up, pulling the waist down as you come up, upper waist, and then exhale, release the legs to the right, head to the left. So you can add something to this movement. So the legs are called windshield wipers. One leg is turned out, one leg is turned in. So then you can add what we call a wash rag to the arm. So if you lift the left shoulder, you'll feel it gets sticky on the mat. Just lift it and then draw the shoulder blade down the back and externally rotate the shoulder away from the body, turning the palm to face the wall above your head. And just observe how that allows your neck to release more. So your head can turn to the side. And then release your arm. And then inhale, you lift the legs up, and exhale the legs to the left, head to the right. Lift the right shoulder, draw the shoulder blade down the back in order to externally rotate the right arm, and allow the head to release to the right. Don't force the head, but allow it to release. And then release the right arm down, And inhale, lift the legs, drawing the waist down as you do so. And exhale, legs to the right, head to the left, turning the left arm into external rotation. Now, you can add the right arm when you're ready. You lean a little to the left, lift the right shoulder off the mat. Now, the right shoulder is going to come into internal rotation. So you engage pec minor to roll the shoulder into the chest, and the shoulder blade has to rise up to the top of the shoulder, and you turn the palm to the ground or the back wall. And so my palms are both facing the wall above the head, and both elbows are off the ground. So then you release your arms, and then inhale to come up, and exhale, legs to the left, head to the right, externally rotate the right arm, and left shoulder. So you engage pec minor to roll the shoulder into the chest, shoulder blade rises off the mat. So now, left shoulder and right hip are coming closer together. Okay, and the right arm is an external rotation, left arm is an internal rotation, right leg is internal, left leg is external. So they're doing opposites. Almost like you're skipping to the side. And then inhale to come up and exhale to release. And then you can do the arms simultaneously. Release, inhale to come up, exhale. And you can do the arms and legs simultaneously. So as you're lifting the legs, you're releasing the arms. As you're engaging the arms, you're releasing the legs. So in the beginning, you're getting yourself unstuck. And then as you get unstuck, you can move a little more freely. And then when you feel complete with that movement, you can rest in Shavasana. Again, I tend to move down. So resting in Shavasana for a few breaths. Reassess your Shavasana and see how that feels now. Maybe you feel even more soft in the back of the body. Maybe you feel even more aligned and sort of neutral as opposed to falling to one side or the other, or more arch in the back on one side or the other. So you can observe these things so that you can feel the effect, and then, you'll want to do it more. Ideally, these are things that can be done on your own anytime, multiple times a day if you want. So the next one that I really like to do is alternating knees to chest. So you bring the legs together, roll the front thighs in. This is called supta, supine. Supta is Sanskrit for supine, lying on the back. Tadasana, mountain pose. So feet and legs together, and push the inner feet forward, spread the toes, and pull the outer feet back. So you engage the outer shins, and that helps you roll the thighs in. Firm the inner knees down, press the legs down. Bend the elbows alongside the rib cage. So the wrists are over the elbows. Dig the elbows down, lift the chest, and just draw the shoulder blades down the back, and observe how this puts you into a bit of an arch here. Right, shoulder blades down, and now my lower back ribs are off the mat. Then I widen the diaphragm and the lower front ribs and draw the sides of the waist down to bring the lower back ribs down, and then extend the arms, and then reset the feet and legs, and from the elbow joints up off the mat. And then inhale, taking the arms up overhead. This is called Urdhva Hastasana in Sanskrit, upward facing arms. In Supta Tadasana, reclining mountain pose. And here I'm in a bit of an arch. And then as I exhale, I'm going to sink, especially the lower front ribs, sink the waist, bend the right knee, using the hip flexor here, the crease of the groin, keeping the arms straight when you take the arms up and back. And then interlace the fingers on the just below the right knee, and then just take a few breaths here and just try to relax the hip flexor, which is what brought the leg up. The quadriceps, the hamstrings, the outer leg and the inner thigh area, the calf, the front of the shin, the foot and ankle, the lower back and the buttocks, and the waist. And then like flatten, take an inhale, and then as you exhale, draw the belly down, and just observe how this allows the hips to rock back towards flat, and top buttocks moves to the bottom buttocks, and the sitting bone travels along the back of the thigh to the back of the knee. And so my sitting bones are off the ground, right? And my lower back's getting flatter, and my whole body, I'm compressing the leg and sort of deflating the leg as I extend the left leg against that. And then inhale, extend your right arm, extend your right leg and both arms, and then exhale, sink the waist, right? So like flatten as you bend the knee. And then once you have the knee, soften the hip crease and quadriceps, hamstrings, IT band, and the adductors, so the inner thighs and the calf and the shin, everything. Foot, ankle, but the right leg remains firm and pressing down when you remember. And then inhale into the belly, and as you exhale, sink the waist, just like in flatten. So you're going deeper into flatten, And the top of the buttock is moving down towards the bottom of the buttock. So the top of the hip moves down, and the sitting bone travels along the back of the thigh, and you just relax and deflate and compress the left leg against the extension on the front of the right leg, ideally. And then inhale, extend. It's a bit of an arch, and then exhale and bend the right. So you take your time, however much time you need to deflate and flatten. Inhale, you extend, bit of an arch. Exhale, you sink the waist, decompress or compress the leg, right, as you extend the front of the right leg against that. Inhale. It's an expansion of the ribcage and chest. Exhale, sinking of the waist. Softening the hip flexor as you compress the leg. Inhale, extend and arch. Exhale, sink and compress and release as you extend the front of the right leg. And then coordinate the movement with the rest. So again, you get sticky, right? And then you unstick, and then you move a little quicker. Inhale, you extend, you pause a moment, line up the inseam of the feet and legs. Exhale, sink the waist, and pause a moment at the end of your exhalation when you're compressing the leg. And then inhale, pause a moment, and then exhale. So you're not holding for a long time, but you're holding long enough to release, and you're not breathing in that moment. One more time. Inhale, pause. Kind of like in the pranayama, it's a vinyasa. Exhale, pause. Vinyasa means inhale, pause, coordinating movement with breath. Exhale, pause. So as soon as I start moving, I'm inhaling the whole time until I'm in the position. I pause a moment and then just exhale over the arms and relax in Shavasana. So that's how you're working with the movement, coordinating the movement with the breath. So we'll just do one more thing here, which I like to add, which is single leg raises. And you'll just do the best you can do and not strain your back. That's priority number one. So again, just bend your knee. Oh no, sorry. Bring your legs together. Roll the thighs in. Bend your elbows. Okay, lift the chest, draw the shoulder blades down. Widen the diaphragm. Draw the sides of the waist down and lower belly towards the lower back, right? And the pubic bone up towards the bottom sternum down towards the pubic bone. So you're shortening the waist and elongating the back. And then keeping the outer edge of the upper arm down. So you're externally rotating the upper arm. Extend your arms and then turn your hands and forearms down, keeping the upper arms rolled open. So you're pressing down with your arms. And again, recess the waist, sides of the waist down, lower belly to the spine. And then as you're breathing and moving your legs, try to keep the breath moving in the upper rib cage and chest area. Firm your inner knees and extend your inner feet. Press your left leg down and inhale, raise your right leg up. Pause a moment and then exhale down. Press the right leg down as you inhale, raise the left leg up. Pause a moment. Exhale down. Inhale, you raise the leg up, maintaining a neutral waist. Exhale down. Pressing the right leg down. You're not pushing the belly up, right? But you're breathing sideways. Exhale down. And as you raise the one leg up, you're not letting the opposite leg pop up, right? It's staying extended and pressing down. Exhale down. And this firmness of the waist, continue, keeps you from rocking side to side or front to back. So you're keeping firm. And the front of the throat is firm. So you keep the chin to the chest. And you keep the waist firm and rooting the lower back down. Arms pressed down. And you can inhale with coming up with a flexed foot and then exhale down with a pointed foot, right? Or inhale up with a pointed foot and exhale down with a flexed foot. You can come up and circle the foot and ankle a few times. So this is abdominal work, right? And core. So the core is the center of the body, like an apple core. Inner ankle to inner knee to inner thigh, bringing them up through the front of the body to the front of the throat. In addition to this, all the waist muscles. There's a center, the center of the body, like an apple core, so you can maintain. Okay? And of course, the more flexible you are, the easier it is. And then rest, let it go. Jiggle a little, loosen it up.
and let it go. So take a few breaths in Shavasana. You can roll the head side to side, release the neck. You did the release of the legs, the arms. If your back bothers you, you can have a blanket under your knees and or under your head or over you if you get cold. You can take as long as you like in Shavasana. When you're ready to come up, you bend your knees, roll over. Take a few breaths on your side. And when you come all the way up, pull the waist in, so you're not using your back muscles, you're using the waist. And then move your arms and let the head be the last thing to come up. Namaste.